Hey guys, how you doing? Big Tony back here with Abnormality. We have made it through the pains and trials of season 1, and we are now on season 2, and this is episode 1. So we thought we'd get together and have a little pilot show, kind of talk about season 1, maybe some good things, some bad things. As always, my buddy, my co-host, Kent. What'd you think of season 1?
I thought it had its hiccups, had its issues, but I think overall for how long we actually shot it for, I think it was good.
Yeah, I think we did 9, well actually, now more than 9 episodes because we cut it down to 9 episodes, but I'm thinking we did like 12 or 13.
Easy.
Episodes, and we did that in 3 weeks. That's pretty impressive. When you called me a couple of months ago, you and Chris called me about doing a TV show, I was like, I've watched TV my whole life. I think it would be fascinating, but what you don't realize is, you guys see a 30-minute finished product, and the amount of work that goes into this is just staggering. It's amazing to me. And Kent's doing double duty because he's helping out on the camera when he can. You're editing, you're doing the sound, keeping those stuff. And when you talk about hiccups, I don't know, can we call them hiccups or can we call them, like the pilot? I always think about the pilot because, we got together, we had a great idea for a pilot. We filmed it once, it didn't work out really well. It didn't flow the way we wanted it to, so we started over and we filmed it again, but we had a memory card issue and lost the whole thing. And a pilot for last season, we basically sat down and we had, 45 minutes to get it done?
Yep.
And we filmed it the day before it aired. So, there's a lot of work involved. You don't understand when you're sitting on the other side of the camera how much is actually involved in what we do here.
Yeah, I got some new gray hairs.
Yeah, I have so much gray hair now. It's amazing. Hopefully we can Photoshop some of that out before it hits the air because I'm looking older by the minute. But I thought we learned a lot about season 1. It was an opportunity for us to kind of get our feet wet, talk about, some of the things in the area because, we're both Salem guys. Mm-hmm. I've been here out of 44 years. I've probably been here 35, 36 of them. So Salem's my home, and it's got an amazing amount of history in this area. And when you're talking about from a paranormal aspect, it's kind of like that thing that's always never really been talked about, but it's becoming, more prevalent in society today, and people are more openly talking about it. And I think if you're talking about, going to a place that has amazing history, Salem's got a long history. Some of it dark, some of it good, but it's got a lot of those things that go bump in the night. So, and we've got just, within miles of here. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite part, you think, of season 1? I think you thought worked the best, and it was kind of your favorite.
I think the one that worked the best and flowed the best for us, honestly, was the meet and greet. Yeah. It was like flawless. We went a half hour over our scheduled allotted time. Yeah. Because we just wanted to keep it going with the fans, and
you had to chop it down quite a bit.
I did
into the 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was hard.
And meet and greet is awesome because you guys sit at home and you watch us, and thank you for supporting us and keeping an eye on us. But being able to have people come in, because we didn't close it off to anybody. We said anybody that wants to. And we did what? We probably had 20, 25 people shoved in here.
Yeah, we had 25 people, and according to CCTV, we could actually put another 15 in. It can hold 40 in here.
Nice. Well, unless I'm in here, that probably cuts it down a little bit.
Takes at least 2 out.
At least 2. But we're gonna. That's gonna be kind of the thing that I think that we're gonna keep as we progress through the seasons of this thing, is doing that meet and greet at the end, because, we do this because we enjoy it and we love it, but it's for the viewers to be able to see, learn history about Salem, learn, kind of some of the things that are around here. So I think that meet and greet's huge. We'll keep you posted on Facebook and other, avenues of social media that we use. And probably on CCTV as well, on our webpage for that as well, that meet and greets are going to be kind of a mainstay.
Yeah, and it gives people a chance to actually see what it's like down here, honestly, that it's not, I don't want people to ever think that we're unreachable, Yeah. I want them to be able to come down, shake our hand, say hi, hang out with us, have a good time, have a few good laughs. And
we are approachable. Since the article came out and things have kind of hit, we've got our critics, of course, that have their comments about how the show looked and all that, and but people are starting to recognize us and see what we're trying to accomplish down here. And it's a labor of love.
It is.
We just love doing this. You've been doing the hunting side a lot longer than I have been, and you've been doing things here in Salem, and I'm getting involved with that. This is kind of my forte, sharing ideas. But having that open forum and reaching out with people in the community that want to talk to us and ask us questions. You can hit us up on Facebook anytime you want. And so I think those meet and greets are just an important part of what we do, and we always will, share that last episode of the season where people can come down and ask us questions about the season, how it went, and kind of get to know us.
Some other things that I'd like to do with season 2, real quick, we're going to start doing live call-ins.
Live call-ins would be fun.
We're going to have people call in and ask us questions while we're here.
Yeah. With a little bit of a delay, because when you open that phone line, you don't know what's going to come across.
Right. Yeah. All calls will be screened and ready to go, but for the most part, because there's a lot of people out there that don't necessarily have TV.
Yeah.
But
I'm
they
one of
still
them. I don't watch TV at home.
And they still have access to the show.
Yeah. You're going to be able to hit it up on different social media outlets, and we'll try to put it out there as much as we can, because we love what we do. I mean, this is fun. All of us are full-time working dads, and we've got a whole lot of things going on. And I think the thing that struck me the most when I started this project, because I have zero TV experience, was the amazing amount of time and effort that goes into just a 30-minute segment.
Yeah.
How much would you figure in a 30-minute segment of show with no commercials? How much filming is involved for all of that?
If you go nonstop, front to back, you're looking at 30 minutes. And then you got to go back through and watch and make sure there was no doors shutting in the background, because this isn't soundproof. If there was no giggles or anything like that, you've got to watch the episode. So there's another 30 minutes added on, and then editing and finalizing and everything. It's a good hour, extra hour. And
one of the mainstays that we're going to try to get into is doing more out in the field, and I think that's going to be even even more. It's going to be a tremendous amount of footage that we're going to have to go through and get a show. As far as season 1, meet and greet was kind of your favorite part. One of the things that sticks out in my brain that was funny to me was the episode when we talked about the Craigslist stuff.
Yes.
It's hilarious to me, because I'm one of those people that love to read stories about people and some of the crazy ideas that they come up with. And, talking about the Grim Reaper wearing the wedding dress, I still want to see that. I haven't seen proof that it exists.
Oh, I'll show you proof.
You've got proof? Okay, I want to see that. But the Grim Reaper wearing the wedding dress, and that episode was just fun to me. And then, we had the guy that was, I don't even remember where he was from, that was trying to sell the ghost in the chest, which I still think $1,000. We might have to check it, because if it's still on Craigslist, he might have lowered the price a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's a fire sale.
Yeah, you get to that point. We might be able to come up on that and, some ideas. We could have it in the studio with us and just open it and see what happens.
Pandora's box.
Yeah. It's funny. I look over my shoulder when I'm in the studio, because you'll see in season 1 hasn't finished airing yet, but you'll see the episode with William where he's talking to me at the end. And he's giving me kind of a read about what's going on. And he talks about there's a person behind me watching me. And I'm just like, probably the rest of the episode, I was like looking around, seeing if I could see anybody behind me.
Yeah.
It was a little girl or something that was keeping an eye on me or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was my favorite episode, I think, just, reaching out with funny things. And that's season 1 was just a learning experience. Learning the cameras, learning the editing for you, because I know that, a few times I came in here, you were pretty stressed out trying to learn all that stuff, which, more power to you.
Well, the thing is down here at CCTV, they offer classes.
Yeah.
But the classes didn't go with my work schedule. So I was pretty much being self-taught.
Yeah.
And I'm a PC guy, and all their stuff down here is Apple, which it's completely different.
Way different.
So I had to self-teach, learn all the hotkeys, and I'm getting really good at it now.
Yeah.
But here we are, like 4 weeks later, and I'm still learning.
Still trying to get through all the hiccups. But yeah, CCTV is great, because Arlen and the people down here have been helping, and this show is Abnormality, but it's a lot bigger than just the two of us sitting in front of a camera, and the many people that we had on the first season. So season 2, let's talk a little bit about season 2. I think that as we progress into this TV show, I think season 2 is going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say scripted, but it's going to be a little bit more formal and a traditional type show. We're going to be in the studio for about 10, 15 minutes, do an introduction, give some history of some amazing places here in Salem. You hear us talk about Psychos a lot. That's one that always comes up, because it's near here and it's got a huge history. So we're going to do a little bit of an introduction. And William Becker, who's our local expert, he's a psychic medium. He's going to go out on location with us and maybe give us some reads, see what he can come up with. And I kind of see it as an opportunity to give history, to have William kind of give us some background on what he feels and what he sees, and then use the hunting opportunity to kind of see if we can find what William's talking about, if we can pick up on some of the stuff that he talks about. Because I know at Psychos, we were able to actually do that. So we do have some footage. And that's a funny thing, too, that occurred to me as we're filming some of these episodes and we're back watching them now, is that in the same episode we're talking about we'll be right back after this break, and we come back and we're wearing different clothes and things like that. You know, it's learning process. I think I got a haircut and I shaved my goatee off at one point, so it's like I go from one scene to the next and I don't have a goatee.
Yeah.
The magic of TV.
Yeah. Magic eraser.
The magic eraser. You know, so I think season 2 is going to be a lot of fun because, you know, we're going to get the hunting involved. Now that we've, you know, kind of stumbled our way through season 1, so to speak, I think it'd be fair to say stumble, learning how we do things. And I've already got a lot of positive, you know, there's critics, but I've gotten some positive things about TV, and I think people understand that, you know, it's not simple.
No, the one thing I would like to point out, just from me being on the editing side and the host side and all that, as the season 1 progresses, it gets better. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it was like the second or third time in studio, we had nailed the chemistry and the topics and everything like that, and you'll start seeing those flawless episodes. I mean, but the first couple episodes, they were bumpy, but we finally were like, you know, hey, let's just do this, and it worked. I mean,
well, and we don't have that luxury because we talk about big movies or big TV shows. You know, they talk about a segment. They go in the studio, they film a 5-minute segment, and then it's a break, and then they study for the next one. Mm-hmm. You know, this is, we come, we sit down, we do a one-shot wonder, and it goes.
And we're literally shooting from the hip on most of it.
Yeah. You know, we get together one day a week to hit the studio. So I think it's just, to me, it's magical because, you know, being able to be in this type of an environment, you know, learn as we go. You know, when I watch it on TV, I know that we did that.
Yeah.
You know, you were behind the scenes doing the camera stuff, and Arlen was helping and doing the editing. And me sitting up here coming up with ideas that are, you know, interesting, makes it just magical all the way around. Just because I know that it's us, it's our work, and we put, you know, you can see the work that you did.
And the biggest difference I feel between season 1 and season 2 is season 1 was kind of, like I said, shoot from the hip, ideas coming literally like out the mouth.
We literally would show up and say, "What are we going to talk about tonight?"
Yeah. Where season 2, we're actually going to have time to write out ideas, go over ideas, you know, almost necessarily, like you said, don't want to say scripted, but for the studio side, it's going to be
a little more organized and a little bit more, you know, we know what to expect each week. And I think the bread and butter of the paranormal community and what we do is all about, you know, being out in the field, because people are fascinated by those things that go bump in the night. Because, you know, 20 years ago when I was younger, talking about stuff like this, you know, because we talk about, you know, the experience with my brother, and I've lost a lot of people close to me, and you talk about those things and people look at you like you're just some kind of weirdo, like you got a horn growing out of your head or something.
Yeah.
And now that, you know, here we are, fast forward to 2016, and it's more socially acceptable. And so it gives us the opportunity to openly discuss some of those things that we experience, and gives us an opportunity to talk about it in an open forum.
I like to thank the media for making it more tolerable these days.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because, you know, through the years watching some of those ghost episodes and some of the ghost hunting shows, you see an hour episode with commercials. It's basically a 35-minute show.
Yeah.
Because, and you see, you know, it seems so flawless and it seems so easy the way that they did things. But what you don't realize, now that I've seen it from this side, is that they're not by themselves. They've got camera crews following them around. They've got, you know, sound guys, and they edit, and they spend weeks filming an episode, and then they cut it down into a one-hour episode.
They got script writers. They got research teams.
I'm a funny guy, but if I had somebody write my jokes for me, I think it would be, I'd be huge.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. Is if you got somebody
CCTV big.
Yeah. Coming to you live.
Live from CCTV. That would be weird, having makeup and all that stuff. And makeup, I don't know if I could ever do that.
I couldn't.
Because I talk about it in season 1, but that's the one I draw the line. The eyeliner and some of those guys I've seen on TV, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's going to give us an opportunity to, you know, just a little bit ago we were talking about some of the history right across the street. Some amazing history and some of the things that have happened in this town. That, you know, in our life we are so, you know, overloaded with stress and TV and things that are happening and the stress of work, that you don't realize the amazing history that we have just within miles.
Yeah, and that's the thing that, you know, we're going to uncover on season 2 that I really want people to know is with season 2, you're going to get some stories that are going to rub your nerves raw.
Yeah.
Because we're going to touch home on some serious topics, that some serious cases that part of, you know, our hunting side, we've been 11 years now trying to figure it out. And so we're going to open it up to the masses, and let's see if they can help us, because there's been some pretty tricky stories out there, and plus it's a lot of stories that we're going to open the can of worms.
Yeah.
That historians have tried to sweep under the rug because they don't want that tarnished name coming out. But
Yeah.
we're gonna do it.
Well, and I think it's going to be fascinating to see how it all comes together. And some of the things that people need to realize too is that some of the places that we talk about when we go out ghost hunting, we talk openly about where it's at and what it is, because it's open to the public. So we have to, be mindful of when we go to these places because, those midnight ghost hunters that want to go out and have fun and drink beers and act a fool and tear things up. And, I mentioned earlier that, that story that I'd seen where that graveyard had gotten torn up where they just basically leveled all these tombstones. Amazing tombstones. It's not like, the old days when they all stood up like you were mentioning, 6 feet tall and all that, and they're tearing them apart. But some of the stuff that we're going to do, we're not going to see a name. We're just going to let you know that we're at a location here in the Willamette Valley, because privacy is a big deal and people don't want, things like that out there.
And one thing I've always prided myself on 11 years now is confidentiality is a must.
Yeah.
Because we got permission to go in there, but they don't need some Joe Schmo off the road, off the street, going, "Hey, I got a ghost.
I got my camera. Can I take a picture?"
Yeah, and
it makes it tough, and I think that's why, people have such a hard time. That's why there's not 75 ghost shows on TV. There's only a couple that come to my mind that are, the Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters.
Well, I mean, they've been going.
Ghost Hunters International that have kind of taken off from that. They had a spinoff. How long did it take? I was thinking about this earlier. Ghost Hunters came out, and then they had a spinoff of Ghost Hunters International.
The spinoff,
several years.
It was about 5-6 years.
5-6 years. So we hadn't even finished season 1 completely, and we had one spinoff.
Yep.
And now we're talking about a second. We've got some people we're going to help do a movie that we're talking about doing. We've even talked about a documentary, which to me is fascinating. The documentary that we've talked about doing with the serial killers. You talk about opening a can of worms, and that's all right here in Salem.
Yeah.
We're going to be studying and focusing on things that have happened here in town.
And we're also going to be starting the documentary that everybody's been bugging us for, which is our Fairview Training Center one.
The one Chris has talked to us about quite a bit.
Yeah, that's one that really is going to open the eyes of the general public on how these places really were back in the day. I mean, it's not like your Oregon State Hospital nowadays where they're so federally regulated they got to do it. I mean, you're talking back in the early 1900s.
Medieval times.
Well, 1900s, I mean, what was it? Psychology wasn't even a recognized science till the 50s.
Yeah. It was plug them up to something electrical and shock them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's going to be fascinating. And we don't do this to bring back bad memories, but I think it's just that fascination with the history of where we come from and the area that we live in. It's going to be fascinating. So I mean, there's a lot of things going on. I worry that we don't have enough hours in the week with everything that we want to accomplish and everything that we want to do.
Did you know, Tony, that Salem had their own witch trials?
I didn't know that, but it kind of makes sense because the Salem witch trials. And everybody thought it was from Salem, Maine?
Yeah.
Massachusetts. Yeah, you were mentioning that to me earlier, that we've got a location right near here where they had the first
hangings.
The first hangings in Salem. Do we know what the hangings were from?
Murder.
Was it murder?
Murders.
Okay.
Oregon State Penitentiary took over the hangings, I think it was around 1912.
Yeah.
But back in the late 1890s.
What a crazy way to go, I can't imagine.
Back in the late 1890s, they had a triple hanging. I mean, that's unheard of.
And that's right across the street. That's like right near here.
Yeah, actually, back in the day when they would do public hangings, it was like a carnival, like a state fair. People would bring, food vendors would come. There was clowns juggling and everything. It was a big celebration to watch people die.
Yeah. So we're going to maybe try to set up over there and see if we can't, get some action going on over there.
Yeah. My idea would do public hangings again because the crime rate was so low.
Oh, wow. So you're rolling into a whole nother. We're going to get emails just on that. That was his idea, not mine, just so.
I'm just saying.
This is Kent, Big Tony. That's his idea. So when you send the hate mail, make sure it's in care of Kent.
That's right. Send it to me.
But I think it's going to be nice because, we're going to do the introduction. We're going to talk with William a little bit if we have a chance. Do the hunting, and then maybe come back, do a little follow-up on what we caught. We've even talked a little bit about the green screen, which, to me, some of the best bloopers I've ever seen on TV are where those guys are trying to talk to a green screen where they can't see what's on the screen, but make it look right. So they're like looking in the camera. So we might play with that a little bit, but it's fun. I mean, it's an opportunity to learn.
I think that would be fun, honestly.
We'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
I think we should do maybe like some ponies galloping, like a horse race, and we can, horse racing.
We should have Richard Simmons dance.
He disappeared.
Why no?
He's gone. He's been out of the limelight for years.
Well, 75 years old in spandex probably doesn't work well for you.
It doesn't, yeah. Spandex sits a lot different places than it used to. So I think
you would know.
I would know. And I think season 2 is going to be great. It's going to give us that opportunity to come in here, spend some time, and get out what our passion is. And that's explaining things that happen and getting out there in the field, trying to get proof of it. And then the end of the show, we'll do the investigation. We'll come back to the studio and have like a little recap of what we found. And it's not like, like I've said before, it's not like we can go out on location, flip a switch and say, all right, ghosts, come.
Right.
So we're going to go out there, we're going to wing it, we're going to give a little bit of history about what the reports are, what some things that we've experienced. And that's kind of my thing is I'm like the kid whisperer. I like ghost hunts because I don't get the scary, scratchy stuff like Chris. Mine's more of I get the gentle souls to laugh and joke and, stand next to me and just kind of want to hang out with me because I'm that cool. And it's weird because, being this ginormous dude going out in the middle of nowhere, I suppose ghosts aren't really scared of anything, but they like to hang out with me.
It could be, simply like, I mentioned to you, your aura. You could have that protection aura around you where they just gravitate to you because you are big and protective.
And that fascinates me when you talk about aura because I had a conversation with William, our psychic, who wants to explore the possibility of me opening up that part of my, what do they call it, the third eye?
Yeah.
To be more psychic because I know that when we, especially the last time we were at Psychos, with that amazingly bright camera light, you could just feel when it was different because we got out there and everything was really quiet and everything was
warm
mellow, and it was warm and we were all just like, this is so boring. We're gonna sit in the middle of the night, talk to ourselves and get nothing. And then so I got up in front of the camera and I started interviewing William a little bit and we actually had to stop filming because you were hearing some growling and stuff in the camera and I was like, there's something going on behind you. And so, we shut it down and William was seeing all kinds of stuff come out. It
almost seemed like once William started doing his read that there was that proverbial light switch was just like, boom, because it got cold.
It's like they don't know. It was my hair stand on my neck just talking about it, but it was that curiosity thing. All of a sudden it switched and he started, oh no, he sees us.
Yeah, what do we do?
We don't have to hide. And all of a sudden it was, and the crazy thing was your son was there for a little bit. And I think about this. And he was talking about the puppy, the dog. He saw a dog down the road.
And then there was a child that actually hit my car.
Somebody hit the car.
Yeah.
I remember we were down, a football field length away?
Maybe, yeah.
And the kids were chilling in the car for a second, and they said that somebody was banging on the car.
Yeah, and then we go back, and there's little kid handprints on the window, and I'm like...
It's a crazy place. So it was just weird how it switched so quickly. And we're out there just kind of hanging out, and it's slow, and it's nothing going on, and I'm thinking this is going to be the shortest ghost hunt in the history. And then from that, you've got pictures, some different things. The other one that I like is the one where you see the figure by the tree.
Yeah,
that's just creepy. So we're going to make sure that we get that on the episode and talk about it, because I think it's that curiosity that, seeing the unexplained is what's going to be fascinating to people. And I think, how many Ghost Hunter episodes did you see where they didn't find anything?
None.
And it was still fascinating, the suspense and going out there.
And that's the thing that I want people to understand about season 2 also, and if there's a season 3 and so on. Our evidence is going to be on the TV show.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the voice recordings and all that, and, you can't script field investigation.
No.
I don't care who you are or how good you are, because you never know what's going to happen when you're out playing with the dead. They are going to be there or they're not.
Yeah.
And if they're not, you're in for a very boring night.
Yeah. But we're going to be honest. I mean, this is about learning, so we're not going to go out there and have somebody shake the trees off on the side and make things up. It's going to be real. And I think about when you talk about, the filming and all of that stuff, I always think about, I don't remember what the show was called, where they would hook everybody up with cameras and then they had to go through these like dark places and sit
Scariest
in places.
places.
Is that what it was?
Scariest places.
And they had to go to like places by themselves and complete things, and if the whole family made it through the night, they won like a big jackpot of money.
Oh yeah,
that would be crazy. So
they
maybe
actually
that's something we should try that sometime. Is
they did an episode in Oregon.
Did they really? Where was it at?
The Hot Lake Hotel in Ontario.
Really?
Yeah.
Hot Lake. That just sounds scary.
Well, the water temperature is about 200 degrees.
In the lake?
Uh huh.
That's not a lake. That's a sauna.
It's a natural spa.
Yeah.
They used it back in the days of like the early 1800s for therapy.
And so they did a thing where they hooked them up to cameras and just turned them loose.
Yep.
To me, that's real because you could just see the sheer fear. You know, and I know that just from being out at Psychos, when I had that bright light that you were putting in my face, I couldn't see anything. So I can imagine a little small camera with a light on it, and you can't see more than 2 feet in front of you, and there's things like going bump in the night.
Well, that's the thing and plus the lights that they have on them, they're infrared.
Yeah.
So there's no white glow to you. You are looking pitch black, you know.
You can't see. All you hear is things.
And then
Did they win like $25,000 or something if they made it through the night?
It was 25 or 50.
Some ridiculous amount of money.
I'd do it.
And the one of the funniest episodes I remember is the dad. It was like a dad and his adult children. And they're like on the thing going, come on, you can make it. And she was giving up. His daughter was like, I'm done. I'm scared. I'm freaked out. I want to quit. And they're like, come on, do it for the money. Do it for the money. And they're talking to her like, we don't care that you're scared to death and you're peeing yourself in the middle of this abandoned warehouse. You need to finish.
Right.
That's money. Yeah. That would be fun. So maybe we could try something like that with cameras. Because I can imagine, you know, get some people from the public to come out, hook them up to cameras and send them out in some of the places we've gone. You know, I think back of, you know, some of the things I did when I was a kid. You know, it was always a joke to us. You know, the noises and running up and down stairs and slamming doors. We thought it was funny, but it was scary.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
if we'd been any smarter, I think we would have been scared.
I think it'd be funny just to take a few select people out to Psychos.
Yeah.
Drop them off at the beginning of the road. We'll go down to the other end. All right, come on, walk towards us.
And that place, Psychos, is such an oddity because I've gone out there during the day just because of curiosity. Because I've only been out there at night, so I went out there one time during the day. It's like an open field with a few trees. And then on this side, you've got some brush, and then it goes into a rock quarry. So there's literally nothing there. There's nothing scary about it. But when you go out there at night, it's like you're in The Shining.
Yeah.
The fog's rolling in, and you're like in this little cocoon. And, you know, the first couple hunts that I went out there, we went out there in pitch black. We didn't use flashlights, nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're in the pitch black, and we're doing voice recordings. And we did the voice box one time. Got some really freaky stuff, like telling us to leave, called us out by name.
Oh, yeah.
Said Chris. I think it was Christopher and Anthony, called us by name and said it's time to go. And of course we can't hear this at the time, so we're idiots. We're standing out there for 2 hours, like asking all these questions. So we get back to my place and we listen to all this stuff on the audio, and it's like, oh my Lord! And it's like the hair stands up and you're freaking out. And we were just chilling, like it was nothing. So I think that's going to be amazing. You know, we're going to be doing some hunting. We're going to film parts of it. Maybe pull Salem Paranormal, our sponsor. Our other half of our group is going to be doing the investigations. We're going to try to do some investigations together, and just pull it together and have fun with it and see where we go. And you know, if things go well and we can continue this thing and ride this train as long as it can go, and share our experiences.
Yeah, the big thing that we need to let people know is without you, this doesn't go anywhere. I mean,
well, it's free. We don't have to pay anything for it.
Right,
so
but
we could do this all night. But
yeah, I could sit here all night long. But if people aren't watching, then CCTV's not interested anymore. You know?
Oh, yeah. So, and if you haven't had an opportunity to check out the article, I'm sure they can archive it for you. Statesman Journal did a great article with you, me, and Christina, our production manager, and it was a lot of fun.
It was.
A little bit of press, and with the show and everything else, and maybe some public appearances or things like that, you know, we're going to get our name out there, and things are going to be great.
One idea I have for season 2 real quick before we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab a camera and a microphone, and I'm going to walk around town asking people for their ghost stories.
That'd be good.
Call them out on the spot. People love it.
And if they don't come up swinging at us, we'll put that on air.
Yeah, that's right. If I end up on my backside, though, hey.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be great. So, until next time, Big Tony,
Kent.
you guys have a great night, and we'll see you on the next episode of Abnormality.